The comebacks and winning was fun while it lasted, but now the Flames have a big mess on their plate as they look to claim a wild card spot.
You're Locked On Flames, your daily podcast on the Calgary Flames. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's episode of Locked On Flames. As always, I am your host, Jess Belmosto, and thank you so much for joining me. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Right now, new FanDuel customers can get $200 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. Tonight, we are going to be talking all about Connor Zary's injury and just the winning streak that has come to an end, as well as previewing tomorrow night's game, the Battle of Alberta. So make sure you are subscribed to Locked On Flames wherever you get your podcasts, as well as YouTube. We're here for you Monday through Friday, 5 days a week, your team every day. Let's just go ahead and dive right into this, because what was last night's game? What was the officiating? 2 overturned goals. The first one, whatever. But that second one? Goaltender interference? Where? Are we watching the same replay? Did you see an entirely different clip? Because there was nothing. There was absolutely nothing. I don't understand. And Joel Farabee talked with the refs after he was called for the goaltender interference, and this is what they told him. I thought I was outside. Okay. Where was it? Sorry. I was told that if the shot was glove side, it was a goal. But if it was blocker side, it was no goal. And he goes, not really sure what to think about that. And yeah, I mean, I don't think any of us know what to make of that, because it feels so inconsistent. Like, I understand there have been serious incidences of goaltender interference, whatever, and more concrete versions of it, I guess you would say. But to me, like, there was no minimal contact. He did not need any time to reset or anything. There was nothing. I had to make sure we were watching the same thing, because I watched it from the different angles that we saw on Sportsnet, and I saw where, like, he was outside of the crease, and there was, like, I wouldn't even call it a bump. I would say, like, brushing against Casey DeSmith, and I don't get it. I really don't. But prior to these overturned goals, the Flames were dominating. I thought they played very, 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 very well the first 20 minutes. And they really controlled the play at their end of the ice for the first, I would say, like, 4 minutes. I don't think there was a whistle through like 3 minutes or something along those lines, but it was tough for them. Like, every single time they went to shoot, like, it was Casey DeSmith turned into freaking Ben Bishop, and I was quite aggravated. And you could tell that, Farabee and Frost were just so frustrated with themselves, and they're snake bitten. They need to score, and it just stinks. And to have Zary's goal get overturned, um, for a kicking motion, I swear to God, kicking motion is going to haunt the Calgary Flames for eternity. It's just not. We just don't need to talk about it. But it just felt like every time there was an opportunity for the Flames to build momentum, something came and stood in their way. And yes, of course, that's going to happen. But it wasn't just like the first period. It was every single shift. It felt like something was just brewing. And, obviously, we know that Dallas is the much better team, and that's fine. You're going to play better teams when, and that's just how sports work. But it just felt so defeating because had those goals not been called back, the Flames would have been, would have had a much better chance at winning. And I personally think that that might have taken some air out of the room and just kind of like any lack of confidence. The first time that they actually got a goal to count was the third time when Kadri scored. And I swear to God, everyone was like, you going to take that one back too? Do you want to take that one back? What are you going to call that for? Because it felt impossible to have something go their way. And speaking of Kadri and scoring, he hit the 30 goal mark for the third time in his career last night, his first as a Flame. So congratulations to Nazem Kadri. This, you know, it goes to show you that he is still productive. He would do wonders on a contending team. Like, I think of the Flames, and if they were in a position of being like a Dallas Stars or, I'm trying to think, other teams like Toronto or Tampa, and I think of what his offense and skill would do for those teams. And I want that to be the Flames so bad, but it's just not. It's not. And Kadri thought that that's what he was going to. Or Blake Coleman did, because Kadri was signed way later. My God. It's so disappointing to think about. The Flames should just be a better hockey team. I know that's such a bold statement, right? But it's just, we're going to talk more about Connor Zary's injury coming up next. Don't think I forgot about that for 1 second. But for the Flames to have a 30 goal scorer and a player that's right behind him with 30 goals is big. It reminds me of the season Toffoli scored, what was it, 33 goals, I think it was. And the Flames weren't really good that year. But it's nice to see. I'm glad they can find the back of the net consistently. Wish we could see it in a more high-pressure situation. But coming up next, we're going to talk about the devastating injury that Connor Zary suffered last night. And just, again, deflating, taking all the air out of the room, foot off the gas. Coming up next on Locked On Flames. March Madness is here, and FanDuel is giving you the chance to get in on the action like never before. Right now, new customers can get $200 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. That's 200 extra bucks to use on everything from buzzer beaters to Cinderella stories and even who's cutting down the nets. With the tournament games happening almost every day, there's always something to bet on and, be excited about. The FanDuel app is super simple to use, and when I win, I get paid instantly. There is no waiting around. So visit FanDuel.com and get in on the college hoops action all tournament long. Thanks everyone for hanging out with me today on Locked On Flames. Make sure you're subscribed wherever you get your podcast, as well as YouTube. We're here for you Monday through Friday, 5 days a week. Your Calgary Flames every day. And I know. We all saw the injury happen. We all saw Connor Zary clutching his knee, literally screaming in pain after the collision with Mikko Rantanen. And it was a completely avoidable situation. And I know that this is strictly a coincidence. I don't think Mikko Rantanen is a dirty player, but it just stinks to have Connor Zary go down. But for Rantanen to take out 2 players in back-to-back games is just it just I'm not questioning him. It just feels so wrong. It feels wrong. And reports did come back saying that there is nothing broken with Zary, which is great. I am hoping for the situation that we ran into earlier this year, where it looked a whole lot worse than it actually was. Because the fact that nothing's broken, fantastic. Because Mikko Rantanen like fell on this kid. And Rantanen's not a small guy. Connor Zary is kind of a toothpick. And just avoiding the fracture is great. However, it's the same knee that he just rehabbed. He just rehabbed. Chances are he's not back to 100%. And that's with anybody with a knee injury. It doesn't just heal overnight. And even if you're doing PT and strength training and walking, doing all this stuff, let alone playing a sport, it takes time to heal. And it felt just like a slap in the face. Like worse than a slap in the face, a punch to the gut, a slap shot to the gut, seeing him go down. And at this point, I don't even care about the Flames playoff chances. To see Rantanen go slipping and sliding, this is a grown man slipping and sliding on the ice and colliding with Zary, just blows. There's really no other family-friendly words I can say to describe how just defeating and like blech it feels to have this happen. And you want nothing but good things for your players, obviously, and especially someone as young and effective as Zary. He suffered a lot of injuries in the AHL, and I don't like saying a player is injury prone because I mean I'm injury prone at that point too then because I'm clumsy, and I don't necessarily think that you can blame him for either injury that he suffered this season. And it's just calling him injury prone feels like you're kind of like placing the blame on the player. I don't know. That's just my opinion. I think it's a frequently injured player, sure, just injury prone. I don't really like it. I don't, but it's great to see that it is not broken. We're waiting for further imaging. Is there a chance he's out for the rest of the season? Yeah. There's less than a month left. There's like 3 weeks left. Does he come back for the playoffs? I don't know. Maybe if the Flames make the playoffs. But either way, losing Connor Zary stinks. It takes he did have an overturned goal, but someone who has the finishing touch, the ability to consistently score and be around the net when you need him to be. If you push Sharangovich back in the lineup, you're not getting that. You're making your lineup worse. And all I could think of after the game ended was who are they going to call up? Because it's not going to be Rory Kearns. It's not going to be Sam Morton. It's going to be like Martin Firk and someone else. Or someone else, like, just obscure player like, Bishop. Like, there's no reason why those guys should get called up over younger players. Rory Kearns was fantastic in his NHL debut in those, 4 or 5 games, so bring him back. That's fair. That's the only fair, justification here. I am so disappointed in how the game turned out. Obviously, on the score sheet, the final score, but the officiating and this injury just have me rolling my eyes to the biggest degree. And I'm not saying, like, I'm rolling my eyes at Zary, because no, I'm rolling my eyes at the fact that this was avoidable. And it doesn't sit right with me. But coming up next, we are going to talk about something that does sit right with me and gets me a little excited, and that would be tomorrow night's matchup. We have ourselves a Battle of Alberta. Daylight savings snuck up on us once again, and if you're feeling that lost hour of sleep still, 5-hour energy has your back. But this extra sunshine means time for more fun, but you need a little boost to power through. Whether you're staying up late watching the NCAA tournament, squeezing in a round of golf after work, or just trying to keep up with your busy day, 5-hour energy gives you that quick, refreshing pick me up whenever you need it. I've been staying up late and watching the Flames because every game is important and I get to talk to you guys every day about them. But sometimes I do need a little extra boost to get me through to those 9:30, 10 o'clock puck drops. I can't do it. Head to 5hourenergy.com to find over 15 flavors to choose from, including watermelon, blue raspberry, and peach mango. You can even build your own 12 or 24 pack and get it delivered right to your door. Need one now? Grab a 5-hour energy shot at your local grocery or convenience store. They are everywhere. Stock up and stay energized. Thanks everyone for hanging out with me today on Locked On Flames. Make sure you're following me on Twitter at Jessica Mosto. So, with the season coming to an end, you have one more Battle of Alberta. Nothing slows this team down. I think the Flames, it doesn't matter who is on your roster, they get up for these games. They know how important it is. Yeah, Edmonton is in third place, chasing second. But the Flames, they don't quit. It does not matter that they are chasing a wild card spot and are currently 6 points out. Does not matter. It doesn't. The Flames are it feels so competitive just about every time. And I went to my first Battle of Alberta game this year, and it was in Edmonton, like one of the first 5 games of the season. And it was similar to last night's game against Dallas, where the Oilers ended up having like 3 goals overturned, and Dan Vladar got so lucky. Like, there were people in my section saying, like, go back to Calgary, and it's like, I'm not even from there, but I will. Thank you. But no, we know that these games are always super competitive, super high energy. Blake Coleman is not afraid to throw a big hit during these games. We've seen it. The Flames are obviously likely going to be without Zary, so there may be some lineup changes there. Sharon Govich may slot back in, or maybe they do something a little different this time. And with McDavid still out and Draisaitl a game time decision, like, this is anyone's game, in my opinion. I think that if the Flames show up big and just kind of get going right out of the gate, the same type of first period they had against Dallas, but actually not getting goals overturned, they will be okay. However, I really, I feel like there are players on both teams that are just kind of there to to fill up a roster spot. They're fine at hockey. But I really need Ryan Lomberg to fight someone. Like, get the juices flowing. I think that Lombo and Frederick would be a great fight. Those two very likely hate each other from their rivalry during the playoffs back in Boston and Florida. I wouldn't be shocked if and Frederick chirps. He's a yapper. Honestly, if someone should be mic'd up every game and there should just be a feed, like a live feed of it, it should be Trent Frederick, because he is going to say whatever he needs to and play those little games to get under your skin. I just really I want to see an entertaining product on the ice. I hope the Flames dominate. I hope that they embarrass the Oilers. Is that realistic? Probably not. But it is still fun to think about and to wish. It is still so fun. I guess my players to watch would obviously have to be Jonathan Huberdeau, who is just a few goals shy of 30 goals, which would be an incredible feat for him, considering this season, or not just this season, but I guess, yeah, the expectations were very low for him. I never saw a 30 goal or even a 20 plus goal season uh, on the radar for him throughout the remainder of his time as a Flame. So this is really exciting. I think the resurgence is fun to watch. It would be a lot more fun if the Flames were in the playoffs too, and you got to see more of it. I also think that I I would have Kadri as a player to watch as well, because he obviously had those two big goals against Dallas, and it just he's just so good. Unbelievably talented at his age, and it just feels like he's just getting better and better, aging like fine wine. So we'll have to see. I would say that the Flames will score the first goal, and it's going to be someone on Backlund's line. I have a feeling. But I do think the Oilers take the game. Make sure you are subscribed to Locked On Flames wherever you get your podcasts, as well as YouTube. We are here for you Monday through Friday, 5 days a week. Your team every day. I will see you all on Monday. Have a safe weekend. Stay warm. I'm assuming it is still very cold where everyone is. But yeah, bundle up, listen to this podcast while you're grocery shopping, at the gym, or just cleaning around the house. And we'll be back Monday with another episode and a playoff check-in for the Calgary Flames.